Please, you gotta get this. Repeat after me. I will not lose. Bishop, Apostle, you are not ready. Unstoppable dynasty.
A few moments later.
Somebody else die what you about to go through. Yo. All right. Yo, all right.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, do we have a story that reminds me of the Bible verse, Matthew 23:12, in which Jesus said, all who exalt themselves shall be humble, and all who humble themselves shall be exalted, which essentially means that a man should humble himself before God. And we have a story about a man whom did not humble himself before God, actually in what's supposed to be God's place of worship, allegedly teaching God's word, as God seems to have humbled this man in the worst way possible for him, as Bishop, right, Pastor Lamar Whitehead of Brooklyn. Him and his wife got robbed for over $1 million in jewelry live doing a service. And this story right here is absolutely insane, but I'm actually excited to talk about it because stories like this, I think we can learn a valuable lesson, specifically about a lot of these preachers, right, and these pastors who preach the prosperity gospel, more specifically, whom are obviously taking advantage of people's faith to enrich themselves in a way that I find to be very dishonest and unethical. So without further ado, let's go ahead and play this news clip about this bishop, this man of God, getting robbed for over $1 million in jewelry live doing a sermon. Take a look.
Looking for the suspects after a Brooklyn bishop is robbed of more than $1 million in jewelry, and the incident was caught on camera during a live stream.
That's right. Bishop Lamar Whitehead was delivering a sermon yesterday morning when he noticed the gun-wielding intruders. Police say the suspects targeted the bishop and his wife. No one was hurt, thankfully. Lisa Evers is in Canarsie with what the bishop had to say after this horrifying ordeal. Lisa.
Well, Stephen Laurie, this well-known Brooklyn Bishop Lamar Whitehead holds his Sunday services in the space you see right behind me, with some of the faithful coming in person and many more watching his sermons via live stream. But on Sunday, his sermon was interrupted when armed robbers burst in.
Yo. All right.
On Sunday, as Bishop Lamar Whitehead delivered his sermon for his Leaders of Tomorrow ministry, police say 3 masked gunmen stormed in and rushed right for the bishop. They took more than $1 million worth of gold jewelry and gems, including a Rolex watch from the bishop and his wife.
When I seen them come into the sanctuary with their guns, I told everybody, get out.
No shots were fired. People here are stunned.
It was just shocking to know that in this neighborhood something like that would happen. And it's thrilling for the people that come to church that day. It's horrible. It's sad to know what's going on in the world right now.
The armed robbers ran out and then police say jumped into a white Mercedes for their getaway. Bishop Whitehead was in the news last May for attempting to negotiate the surrender of murder suspect Andrew Abdullah, wanted for the Q train shooting that took the life of Daniel Enriquez, who was on his way to Sunday brunch. Whitehead drove his $400,000 Rolls Royce to the 5th Precinct, but the NYPD took Abdullah into custody without his help. Whitehead has had his own contact with the criminal justice system, serving 5 years behind bars for identity theft and grand larceny.
It's my prerogative to purchase what I want to purchase. If I worked hard for it, I can purchase what I want to purchase.
Now, Mayor Adams took on the role of mentor to Bishop Whitehead when he was released from prison to help him turn his life around. He told the Daily News he'll do whatever is necessary to find those responsible. The NYPD tells us that a 911 call was made from the location and that this investigation is ongoing. We're live in Canarsie. I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, talk about being humble in the presence of the Lord, right? Because I don't know anywhere in the Bible where it says a pastor or the leader of a church should be running around with more than $1 million in jewelry on, okay? I believe that the chain this guy was wearing was $400,000 in and of itself. Absolutely ridiculous. I don't know, man. Maybe it's in the gospel, the book of Drip, right? The Drip Chronicles or Dripulation, right? 69 and 420, right? Maybe that's where it's at, right? Thou shalt always be iced out, right? In the presence of the Lord, okay? Maybe that's where it says. And I'm gonna tell you guys, this 100% was an inside job. And I'm going to tell you how I know. Because if you look at the robbery video, okay, when the church is getting robbed. Now, keep in mind, this guy's getting robbed at gunpoint in New York City, right? Where, you know, only the criminals have guns. The law-abiding citizens can't get them. But anyways, doing this robbery, look at the guy that's off to the side. He looks like maybe he's another minister or maybe he's security or maybe he's some other bishop or something like that. Whatever, right? This guy doesn't even flinch. He doesn't flinch at all, right? He acts like nothing is going on, as if he expected this to happen. 100% an inside job, especially when you are rolling around here with all this jewelry on, wearing it doing church sermons, pulling up to public places, and $400,000, $500,000 cars, Rolls Royces. Bruh, you a walking lick, right? As my brother would say, right? You are a walking lick, okay? You're waiting to be robbed. You're literally asking for somebody to come up here and to rob you dry, right? That's what you're asking for. And the crazy part is this guy should have known better because he was an ex-con, right? He went to prison for grand larceny, right? You a master thief, right? In multiple ways. Not just in your crime life where it was illegal, but what you're doing right now is legal robbery, right? You're robbing the church. You're robbing the house of God, okay? Because that's the only way that you make over $1 million as a pastor, which I'm going to get into in a little bit here. But I'm just saying, this guy should have known. I mean, I was literally listening to T.D. Jakes the other day, whom, by the way, is also one of these guys preaching the prosperity gospels, right? Okay, and I don't even listen to him like that, but I just saw something on social media, and I reposted it on my Instagram story. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, you know, follow me at gforemanbcp. Well, I posted on my Instagram story in which T.D. Jakes was talking about how billionaires, people who actually have money, don't run around here looking like they actually have money.
I'm not a billionaire. I might not ever be a billionaire, but I got friends who are billionaires, and I found out that the only people who dress rich is poor folks. Billionaires have on tennis shoes and jeans from Target, while you got Gucci bags and Louis Vuitton. You know why the billionaire dresses down? Because they don't need a tree. You know why poor people will spend their last dollar to get a rich bag? Because they don't want you to know how short they are.
So that's a guy that is worth, what, multi-millions of dollars, way more than this other guy, I'm guessing. But even he's smart enough to know that, hey, you know, I shouldn't be running around here looking like I'm rich, right? I don't want to be a walking lick. You know, it kind of reminds me of what happened with Fresh and Fit. And if you guys don't know who they are, they're like these online dating coaches who I've talked about probably 2 or 3 times, or maybe more on my channel. And I like some of the stuff that they say, right? I'm not giving them as hard a time as everybody else on the internet does. But, you know, the thing that worried me about these guys is that as soon as they started making money, one of them in particular, Fresh, started running around with a whole bunch of jewelry, buying Lamborghinis and watches and stuff. And I'm just like, bro, you are begging to be robbed, right? You are screaming somebody who just got money and doesn't know how to handle wealth, right? Or money. You don't know how to handle it, okay? And then lo and behold, these guys got robbed in Dallas, Texas. Now, I don't think they actually got Fresh's jewelry, but the reason why they got robbed is because this guy runs around in public and flexes on social media with all this expensive jewelry on and these expensive cars. Again, you're asking to be robbed. But the point of this video, guys, really is to be wary of these prosperity gospel preachers, because a lot of these times, half these people, they don't even preach the Bible, right? They don't preach what's actually in the Bible. What they do is that they will read a verse, they will extrapolate some type of real life lesson from it that the congregation can relate to, okay? And then they will spin it in a way that's supposed to be motivational, ultimately motivating people who happen to be in bad situations, right? Motivating them to give them money, right? And in a lot of cases, give them their last dollar. I cannot tell you how many times I've sat doing a service in which a pastor was obviously trying to milk people in church for their last dollar, right? Promising them that, well, if you just give more money to the Lord, aka if you give more money to me, then you are going to be blessed, right? You're going to be blessed. Even though that's your last dollar, you got to give it, right? In order to be blessed. When ultimately, at the end of the day, the main person that is being blessed is the preacher, the pastor, okay? And this happens so many times. And it's honestly disgusting because you're taking advantage of people who are in desperate situations, who are looking for a way out, that need mentorship and real hands-on help. They don't need to be giving away their money. They actually need to keep their money, okay? If they don't have it to give, they really shouldn't be giving it away, okay? And if you have it to give, you know, technically you're supposed to, you know, tithe 10% or whatever, fine. Okay, no big deal. But again, a lot of these people don't have it to give, and these pastors will con them into giving away their last dollar. For the pastor ultimately to get rich and go spend their money on expensive cars, clothes, jewelry, and women. Okay, that is what they will do. Right? And this is why I think that pastors should not be paid more than the average person makes in their congregation. Right? So if your congregation only makes an average of 60 or 70K a year, right, per person, that's how much the pastor should make, right? No more than that. No less than that. Because I do believe in pastors getting paid. A lot of these guys, you know, they deal with a lot of stuff, right? They're up late at night praying for people, visiting people in hospitals, canceling, doing all types of stuff, okay? That I think they should be compensated for. They should be taken care of by the church. However, in terms of their personal salaries, they shouldn't get paid more than the average person makes in the church. And I'm saying that for multiple reasons. One, because that is ethical, right? And you're supposed to be humble, okay? If you're preaching the gospels, you need to be humble, okay? Second of all, that will motivate the pastor to actually help out members of the church financially, right? To actually not only preach things that are motivational to them, that's going to get them to live a better life and to go out there to get a job and to, you know, get a promotion or whatever, but also to offer services in the church that are going to help them grow financially, right? I think there are multiple reasons, again, why pastors should not be getting paid millions and millions of dollars and members of their church aren't making that much. I just don't think it's right, right? I just do not think that is right. And yes, I know that a lot of these pastors make most of their money or accumulate most of their wealth from selling books and stuff like that, that, you know, they basically are able to sell and got famous off of and able to market because they preach. But at the same time, I don't understand how can a man who is supposed to be preaching God's word live with himself, you know, knowing that, you know, he's living a life of riches, right? And lavishness while his congregation isn't. I just really don't understand that. But then again, I'm not saying that pastors, you know, can't get rich or whatever, or, you know, live a nice life. I'm just saying, you know, when you're out here buying, you know, $400,000 cars and $1 million chains and stuff like that, yeah, I think that you have more conning going on than actual preaching and doing a, you know, service to society. You might be thieving. So again, I am weary of a lot of these guys, man, that preach this stuff because they truly are taking advantage of people. And this guy, it seems that he's accustomed to taking advantage of people. And he has no problem showing off that he is, in fact, a con man. And it seems like God humbled this guy, right? That is exactly what happened. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.